Hello everyone, Absent Friend here, and we're coming at you with another advanced guide for Disney Villainous. Today, we'll be looking at Scar. So sharpen those claws, let's head onto the game table and check it out. Remember, thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell to be alerted when new episodes are available. And here we are at the game table with Scar. So let's check out some advanced strategies with him. Okay, so before we begin, if you noticed, I took a nasty spill yesterday and really messed up my hand. So if you see anything odd on my hand, that would be it. So I think it's healing okay. It's just taking its sweet time. So anyway, okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk about some things that you can do. First of all, let's talk about Shinzi. Shinzi is a wonderful card to play because, of course, when you play Shinzi, you get to play another hyena, any hyena, for free. Doesn't matter if it's hungry hyenas or one of your other named hyenas. As long as they're hyenas, you can play them for free. So any combination of that works. I talked about this in my basic guide, but I also like to make a feeding ground, and this is where I usually like to make my feeding ground. You can either do it here or you can do it here. Either way really works because these have your double card play actions, and probably your heroes are going to be played in either of those locations. But it's up to you, really. You can maybe make a feeding ground on both if you want. The thing about Scar is that if all your hyenas are in one place and you need them somewhere else, you have a card to get them there quick. So it's not that really big a deal, but I always try to make my feeding ground right here. Alright, and whenever I play Shinzi, of course, I make sure that I can play her with another hyena and get 2 out for the price of 1. Now, let's say I use her in a Vanquish action. I always try to make sure I use her and another hyena in the Vanquish action, put them in the discard pile, and then, oh, where's that wonderful card? I use this to discard, do the discard thing, and then I will get them back. So I'll use this to get up to 2 allies from my discard pile, even though I know they're already discarded. I will use them to do that, and I will get them both back, and that way I can play them again. So use Shinzi, play free hyenas, use Shinzi and another hyena in Vanquish actions, and then just get them right back with Be Prepared. And that way you can always just have those 2 hyenas for the price of 1. And of course, if you have the Ed out there, then it's even cheaper because she's only 1 power instead of 2. But 2 power is really not that bad. Okay. I also like to play, right off the bat, Hungry Hyena to the Gorge, because that's your only Vanquish action, and Scar has to vanquish a lot. So I always try to keep a hyena here at the Gorge, and then you stick with me when I need to vanquish in a place where I'm not able to vanquish, okay? So stick with me is great as long as you have a hyena here. Anywhere really works, but I like to do it here so I can do the Vanquish action there, or any other action that is needed. But the Vanquish is what I usually rely on it for. Okay, now there's another card that a lot of people use and don't use it properly, I think, and that is this guy. Stampede. Now I always try to play the Stampede as an ally and use it to move heroes, but remember, you have to move a hero when you play the Stampede at a location that has a hero. You have to move the hero. There is no, however, you don't have to perform the Vanquish action. You could just move it and then that's it. Now it's great if the situation lets you get the Vanquish action in 1 turn. Like, let's say Mufasa gets played next to your feeding ground, and you're just like, well, we're just going to Stampede Mufasa over to my feeding ground, kind of like the movie, and you could do that, but you don't have to. You could just use this to move heroes into the spots where they need to be. And then, now here's something else that you can do, even though you're like, but this is a powerful ally, I don't want to play it here if my feeding ground is here. Well, that's true. So you can play the Stampede, and if you're on a spot that lets you move, play the Stampede and then move it. And now it is like, for example, if I'm at Pride Rock, I could play, let me set up a feeding ground here. Shinzi, Let's go ahead and put Ed there. And let's put Hungry Hyena. Okay, so this is enough. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. This is enough to take out Mufasa. Okay, just enough to take out Mufasa. All right. Let's say Mufasa is played by the Fedors, which I don't know why they would, but sometimes you're stuck and you have no choice. Let's say they play them there. Now I'm here, and I've got enough power to do this. So my first card is going to be to play. I'm going to play the Stampede. Okay, which means I get to move Mufasa over here. All right. Actually, let's say Ed is not there. Let's say Ed is not there. Okay. Now I could use a vanquish action, but I can't because it's not enough, right? I only have 4. I need 6. The Stampede will put me to 7. So then I'm going to move the Stampede over like so. Now I have 7. I still have another play a card action. So I can play Stick With Me to use the vanquish action here to off him. Okay? So don't be afraid to use the Stampedes. If you want to just play them to put allies out and don't worry about the hero moving thing, I totally recommend that. Just because I don't use the moving of heroes very much. And if I do, I have other ways to do that. So, for example, Long Live the King. Of course, that lets you reveal the top 4 cards of your Fate deck, and you may play any heroes. Unless you have Mufasa down here in this successor pile, I would not play any heroes. Okay? And I'll tell you why. So, no hero is going to make your game enhanced from Scar's point of view until the end, until you're ready to get to your end game. All right. So the only hero that you need to worry about is Mufasa, of course. But let's say you play this, but you don't have your feeding ground ready yet. And do you want to go in and play it? Absolutely. Because you want to be able to control what they're doing, okay? And look at this. I already got the Stick and a Prophecy and 2 heroes, but I'm not going to play any of them. I'm going to put them right here in my discard pile, okay? Mufasa was in the discard pile. Remember that. Now, let's say a turn or 2 goes by, and we have our feeding ground ready, and I am ready to take out Mufasa, and I want to do it in 1 turn, okay? So you have many options. However, if you can use the Gorge, you can do it that way. And this is the bare minimum of how it's going to work, okay? So you need... That's my discard pile. You need this card right here. Whisper. And you need to play that Whisper in your play card action. So make sure that you play a card and vanquish in the same turn. You choose a card from your Fate discard pile and play it. Choose a card from your Fate discard pile and play it. Well, guess who I'm playing. And then I can vanquish, and boom, there, he's dead. So if Mufasa comes up and your Long Live the King reveals, and you're not ready to put him out there because you do not want to put Mufasa out and leave him out there for too long, because that leaves opponents putting sticks on him and prophecies and other heroes that can enhance his strength. It's not good. You want Mufasa out and vanquished in the same turn. Okay, Scar players, do that. That's a very, very important combo to do. Do not get Mufasa out unless you are ready. Now, once you have Mufasa in the successor pile, any other hero can be well, can do well. Okay. Also, another card that you could play from using Whisper. It's kind of weird to want to play fake cards, but you can actually use this card to your advantage because you can choose a hero with you can play or move a hero to any location. I read this wrong. Use this to move a hero to any location. Let's say somebody did play Mufasa way over here, away from your feeding ground. So you're like, okay, well, you play Mufasa, I'm going to play Whisper. There's a Hakuna Matata in the discard pile, and I'm just going to move Mufasa right there. Boom. You could actually, here, well, let me show you. Where'd he go? There he is. Okay. So there's that, and I played my card, or I played Whisper to play Hakuna Matata from my discard pile, move Mufasa there, vanquish, he's dead. Okay? And all of these things I'm doing with Mufasa can be done with any hero. You may not have to go to that extreme, But the longer heroes are on your board, the more likely they'll be prophesized, if that's a word, and or sticked, because that's probably the best fate card and the worst one for Scar. Okay, all right. So, that's it as far as advanced strategies go. Of course, save those injustices for fate actions, and remember, you can discard the cards, or you can return them back. If it's a stick, or if it's Mufasa or something like that, go and discard it. If it's just two who cares cards, then just leave them there. That way you know what's about to happen when the fader gets you. Okay, so let's talk about the fate side. If you are playing against Scar, what do? Do you fade him all the time? Well, kinda, maybe so. I would, just to kind of mess up, or to kind of block actions and to slow them down. So play insignificant heroes like Timon and Pumbaa. Try to get these two guys out so they enhance each other's strength. Rafiki is a great hero to have out at all times, because you can't defeat anybody else until you defeat Rafiki. And of course, anybody with a stick, but of course you want to either give the stick to Rafiki or Mufasa. Okay, those are your two best contenders for the stick, all right? And that way they have to defeat them twice. And remember, you can play the stick on someone, but then that's it. You cannot play a prophecy on someone who has a stick. However, if you have a prophecy on one, you can play the stick on them, okay? So you can do prophecy, then stick, but you cannot do stick, then prophecy. So keep that in mind. Play a prophecy. If it's like, oh, I don't want to play a prophecy, but I won't be able to play anything else. Yes, you can. Sticks can go into anybody. Sticks can go on anybody, no matter what they have attached to them, okay? Any hero. So use that stick wisely. Prophesy Mufasa and the stick. That's a great thing to be able to do. Really, really, really slow Scar down. Okay. And then, of course, use Sarabi to move, or to get rid of hyenas. And we'll get, of course, Simba is good to keep hyenas weak, but at the same time, that's 5 to the successor pile. So I would be very careful using Simba. Because, yeah, it's nice to have all the hyenas at 2, but that has no effect on the stampedes. So, and it only takes two stampedes and 1 hyena to take him out. Or I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It takes 1 stampede and 1 hyena to take him out. So be careful. And by hyena, I mean one of the named hyenas. Unless you have a hungry hyena that is powered up, but they can only go up to 2. But you see, so Simba is not the best card to play Fators, unless you're just desperate. Don't bother with him. However, Zazu is somebody who is definitely worth playing. You should definitely play him Fators and keep him out and away from the other heroes, because as long as he's in the realm, everybody else gets +1, unless they're at his location. All right. So go ahead and keep Zazu out. He will enhance all the other heroes as long as they're in other locations. So try to keep him where he's not going to make other heroes weaker. All right. Now, he is a weak hero, don't get me wrong, but let me back up to Scar. I'm back on the Scar side of things now. You Scar players, if Zazu gets into your realm, first of all, I would not want him in my realm. And I would try to get rid of him if I could. However, though, if he does come out, he can be used if you move him around to reduce the strength. Again, that's going to take some whispers and some Hakuna Matatas to move him into play. So honestly, I wouldn't bother with it. But if he does come out, play a whisper, and if that stick is in your discard pile, put it on Zazu, and then don't bother with them. I mean, +1 strength is not going to be the end of the world, right? But at the same time, if you can move around and get that negative strength to those heroes, do it. Keep him in the feeding ground and try to keep all your other heroes in the feeding ground. They'll all be -1. Every single one of them will be -1. If he's in the feeding ground and he has that stick on him, you're not going to be tempted to. And the stick is here. There's only 1 stick. If the stick is on Zazu, it can't be put on anybody else. You could also, if you're really crafty, again, we're talking about Scar players, put a prophecy and the stick on him. I mean, that's going to take some luck and some good hand, card drawing. But that's another thing you do to keep a prophecy out of sorts. So that's an extreme circumstance. So don't do it unless the stars align and you're able to do that that way. So you Fators, now back on the Fate side of things. Sorry about the aside. I just had to step out of the kitchen for a second. Don't do that to Zazu. Everything I just showed you is for Scar. If you're a Fator, put prophecies and sticks on the other heroes to keep them alive. Put them on Simba. Definitely put them on Mufasa if you have the opportunity. Put them on Rafiki, okay? But don't put it on Zazu. If Zazu's out, use him for his +1. Use him to cover actions, but that's it. Don't worry about trying to keep him alive. It's not going to matter. Okay, Scar will either take him out quickly or he'll leave him out for other things, okay? All right, so that's all I have for Scar on the Fate side of things, okay? So, or both sides, I should say. With the Fate side, once Scar gets going, he's kind of hard to stop. So I would say prophesy heroes. He will get heroes out. Once he has the successor pile going, you Fators, I probably wouldn't fade him anymore, because if Mufasa's the only one in there, you're never going to get him out. So Hakuna Matata does nothing. If there are no heroes out, don't put any more heroes out, because that's just feeding into Scar's victory. There are no effects that will help you, so it's really best to just wait and force Scar, because he may have already played all of his Long Live the Kings or other things, so make him get heroes out. Then once he gets a hero out, then do what you can to stop him, okay? On the other hand, it might be a good idea just to put out a bunch of heroes and spread them all out and keep those actions covered. And, especially if he just got rid of Mufasa, maybe his feeding ground is going to have to rebuild that feeding ground. So, I don't know. You just have to watch very carefully. If he has a lot of allies down here, he can off those heroes really fast. Maybe that's not such a good idea. If he's ally-less, then maybe go ahead and get some out and get them prophesied and everything else. Because the more heroes that are out, the more likely you're going to get the effect cards instead of the hero cards. So, it's really situational. So, either don't fade him when he has his successor pile started and make him do the work and focus on your own goals. That's a really good idea, because Scar is kind of a slow villain. Or just fade him a whole bunch if you can, and just get all the heroes out that aren't really that grand. And anyway, so I would love to hear your strategies. Keep them in the comment box, or put them in the comment box. And let me see what you got. If you have your own strategy for Scar. Scar's a lot of fun to play. I enjoy playing him a lot. So that's it for today, Absent Friends. This is been the Scar Advanced Guide. Be sure to come back next week, and we will look at the next hero, which I believe will be Yzma. That'll be fun. And if you've been following me so far, you might have noticed we've reached 900 subscribers, which I'm very, very happy about. And I'm going to be working on getting the 900 subscriber special working. I just have to actually, get it set up and filmed. It takes a little while to film one of those. So I'll get that out there as quickly as I can. And you guys can enjoy that, as well as these advanced guides. And again, just let me hear from you in the comments section. I love hearing from my absent friends. This is wonderful. And you guys are just an amazing group of people. And let's see if we can bump me up to 1,000. Because if we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll have a special announcement that's going to happen to my channel. So you guys have that to look forward to. So like and subscribe. And it really helps the channel out a lot. So this is your absent friend, signing off.